Hello, hello, and welcome back to my Warhammer-esque talking about battle report videos, whatever you want to call it. I've had 3 matches in the past few days from this video. Also, as of I'm recording this video, seemingly there's a data slate thing kind of updated today about some certain stuff that's going on, plus a point balance thing, like my Stern Guard are a little bit cheaper. So it's like, yay, 10 points cheaper. Awesome. But my Redemptor Dreadnought is 10 points more expensive. Boo. Redemptor Dreadnought's already 200 points, now it's 210. I'm just like, well, that 10 points from the Stern Guard is going to that. That sucks. But, I mean, I like my Redemptor Dreadnought. It's over there. But it's just kind of like, what? Why? Just why? But, I don't know. Scouts went up too, and there's a couple other things. Reason why I mentioned this is because specifically a couple things that I use, like my Stern Guard are now 90. Redemptor went up to 210. The intercessors that I would use, because I still use camps, went down 5. Same with Infernus went down 5, which is like, okay. Outrider squad, I guess 3 models went down to 80, which is I guess good. I've not used the Outrider squad yet. But after seeing how that orc battle went, it's just kind of like, yeah, all right. I can see moving around quickly would be good. Infernus, oh yeah, the Inceptor squad, which I'm considering using, went up to 130 though. That's probably they're like 110 now. They're like 130, which is like, man, that sucks. But that is the main thing I see with mine for now. But you're here to hear about the gameplay and stuff. Well, 3 games. I played 1 against Tyranids. 2 against Tyranids. Actually, I would talk about both Tyranid thing back to back. I had a Tyranid thing over the weekend and then Tyranid thing today. The first Tyranid battle, I won 55-51, and it was like, hey, cool. And that went about as what you expect it would be. Went kind of, it was very close in the secondaries and everything, but I went well. The Tyranid battle from today, I lost 84-55. This is my first loss to Tyranids in a solo match. The only other one was the team match. That was the second battle I ever played or whatever. The problem is with this one is that at this place, besides that orc player which I played who never played before, at this one place, at these 2 different places, this other place I go to, besides that one orc battle at this certain place, I've not won a single battle at this place yet. It was just like, I haven't won a single battle there. So it's just kind of, I've gotten to the fact is like, you know what? Every time I go to a battle, I'm just going to expect kind of to lose because then I can work on myself to try to get better as opposed to like, boy, doing something, everything else. I am going to talk about something specific though. Something in this and then in the next game, which is very important, that I'll discuss, the highlight of the video, I learned about. But what he did with the Tyranid stuff today is he had some different units for Tyranids that I hadn't seen before. So I was like, I've not seen that before. But he basically did kind of like a Death Guard thing. Like I saw that one guy from another. Yeah, I didn't even play that game. It was another guy I was watching play a game. Just kind of make like a giant wall. And I knew seeing that, I'm like, okay, he's trying to box me in a way. So that way I can't, necessarily move around with that. What I did was 4 type vehicles. I had a repulsor, the Predator Annihilator, my Redemptor Dreadnought, and the Thunderstrike. And I was able to take down a couple of his big things eventually, but once he did get rid of my vehicles kind of quick, more quicker than I would have liked, and I kind of got screwed up by that. But I knew going into this is like, okay, Tyranids are going to have a big swarm thing. There's a 2,000 point battle, so what I was going to do is something a little bit different. I did a 10-man Stern Guard fight and a 10-man Hellblaster led by lieutenants with Apothecary. I know I don't understand the captain thing. I know, okay, I can use a stratagem that's already been used. I can reuse it, so it's like, okay, I can kind of reuse like command reroll with him and stuff. Is like, okay, that can be useful, but I like the lethal hits thing that a lieutenant gives. I love the lethal hits thing that a lieutenant gives. I absolutely love it. And it's just like, I want to keep the lethal hits. So the Hellblasters have a good on the wound roll type thing. So either getting lethal hits or getting kind of strong on their strength weapon on their incinerator things. It's just like I think I'd rather have a lieutenant leading them. Like honestly, I'd rather have a lieutenant leading them. I know I'd like to have lieutenants leading the stern guard, but the thing is with that is that the lethal hits don't automatically activate the devastating wounds because it's not critical wounds and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, okay, so that strategy's out the window. So the stern guard, I'd have to do a different strategy. Probably like maybe I can have a regular Iberian that would give me a 4-up invul save, which is like that'll work. But yeah, this is my worst defeat. Well, it's my only solo defeat, the Tyranids. But it just kind of like I know how to kind of handle the big stuff. That's not the issue. But the smaller, bigger guys, smaller, bigger guys, those things with kind of like their huge damage complexes, I couldn't really do. And one thing I noticed, which I'm going to get into for the big game of this video, my problem is with all my point losses, there's one definite thing in common that I've not been doing well. I will admit that I've not been doing well. With this one Tyranid game, the one I won 55-51 that I did, I'm not controlling the middle at all. What I've been doing is I've been going to the sides. I like going to the sides and working the sides and everything, and I like to do that type of ordeal. But there's specifically, like area denial and a few other cards that specifically target the center thing, the center objective. So it's just kind of like, well, I'm screwing myself over. So I need to do a better job of connecting that center objective because I'm not really doing that. I did. Now, the battle I had against the Tyranids that I won 55-51, it was a 1,000-point battle. The reason why it was a 1,000-point battle is because there's going to be a tournament at the Hobbytown thing where you have to use official models and you have to, he's paying as best as possible, but it's a 1,000-point list because they're not open all day and they can't afford, being there all the time. So it's like, okay, understandable. So it was like kind of like a practice thing to kind of do like a 1,000-point list. The issue is that what I did in that is that the infiltrators with this, I got them, and I painted them, a Phobos Librarian. I controlled that center objective, and I feel like, looking in retrospect, he could have been, because I still think I don't know if he's new or whatever, but he wasn't as aggressive. Like, if he was more aggressive with, like, their Turgomanauts to try to chase after my infiltrators in the middle with everything, he might have been able to take it. But because he didn't, I basically kept the objective the entire game. So that's how I was able to hold that, and nothing really came of it otherwise. So, but yeah, this is this is my Phobos Librarian. Fane. 5 over. Now, originally I painted him orange. Like, now all this purple stuff was orange, and you can kind of see it near his belt. You can kind of see some orange or whatever, but it didn't look good. Like, the one thing I noticed with the orange that I have is that it doesn't really come out well. I don't know what it is, but it's not really coming out. Even this second orange, it's not really coming out well on them. It's not really showing up well on the models. I don't know why. I just need to find a good orange that would actually look good and not all, blotchy and stuff like that. But the purple, I decided to recolor him purple, and it looks a lot better. It's probably, even though the Stern Guard are my favorites, this is probably the coolest looking model that I have, this Phobos Librarian, because the brown really makes him shine and everything like that. I like that. So, I don't have the infiltrators yet, but I did order them. They should be here this week, so that way I actually have a thing of infiltrators. Good thing is the box gives me incursors option too. It's like, ooh, cool. And I want to use that for a thing too. So yeah, that's that. But for that Tyranid battle, I controlled the middle. I need to do something better to control the middle. But here's the problem with infiltrators. If I don't go first, I'm getting killed. That's what happened this time. I put my infiltrators in this Tyranid battle on the side, and he had a bunch of stuff on the side. He's just walking up, wiping them out. And it's just kind of like, I need to stop doing that. I need to stop putting them on an objective. What I think I'm going to do with the infiltrators from now on is not put them exactly on the objective where they're going to automatically grab it. It's if I'm probably going to wait. I'm probably going to hold him back, like still be near the objective, but not right on it, so that way he can't just come and take me, especially if he's going to be going first. I'm probably going to wait and kind of fight for it in a way. I think I'd rather do that in some ways, unless I know I absolutely am going to have mid board control. Like if he doesn't have any infiltrators or scouts at all, that would be useful. But the highlight of this video, I have to say, is my first time versing the World Eaters. Now that was interesting. Played that yesterday. It was a quote unquote meme list because the new data slate thing didn't come out till today or whatever. So he was just like, I'm just gonna play with a bunch of stuff. I was like, okay. He had Angron and a couple other big models. He had this like giant tank thing with arms and everything. It looked like something out of Final Fantasy. I was like, what is that thing? Seriously, I was like, what is that thing? But we were playing that and everything, and I got to go first. Did I go first? No, I didn't get to go first. He got to go first with Angron and everything. And wait, did he get to go first? Let me look. Who went to go first? Game setup. Yeah, World Eaters. All right, to give details of the thing, we were playing Dawn of War. Setup, Vox Static, Purge the Foe, which was the thing, which we also did today. Yeah, he went first, absolutely. So that was that issue. I have something to mention about my list. Now, the list I had for that, because it's basically what I used with the list today, I just kind of changed it up a little. I did use Apothecary, Chaplain with Jump Pack, Librarian and Phobos Armor, and Lieutenant. Star Intercessors 5 with Cabin Shriek, Devastator Squad, Hellblaster Squad. I had 10 guys. And Furnace Marines, Infiltrator Squad with the Phobos Librarian. The Stern Guard, 10 guy, and Vanguard Veterans. And I had the same, vehicles that I told you about: Predator, Redemptor, Repulsor, Storm Speeder, Thunderstrike. Keep that in mind. Notice there's one thing on that list I did not say, which is very important, which I want to bring up. But yeah, the infiltrators, Angron just kind of went in and just wiped him out in one turn. He hits hard. He hits very hard. So it's just kind of like, well, that sucks. With his Corn Blessing stuff. But my Thunderstrike was able to target him, and then the Redemptor and everything else I had go into him. I killed Angron, I think, first turn. I did. I think I killed him first turn. But I actually did pretty well against everything. But again, I got to think of what to do better with the infiltrators. Advice on that, please. But again, I didn't control the center of the board. He had that big hunking mass in the center of the board. And that's what really determined the game, because he was able to score like area denial and everything. I lost 75-65. So it was 10 points difference. Pretty close. It would have been actually a little bit more. Here's the thing. I mislooked at my list, and I brought Terminators on the field, and then I had them off in the corner, and I had them scored, the deploy teleport homer stratagem card thing. I scored that. And I was about to have him. He was able to bring back Angron again, and I was about to attack Angron. But then I was looking at their profile things, like, okay, what does the assault cannon thing do? Because I have 5 Terminators someone gave me. They're not fully made up, so I just like, okay, one has an assault cannon or whatever. I don't have the stuff for the Terminators yet, but I'll just say like one has an assault cannon. But when I was looking at the profile list, I did not see that there was any Terminators on my list. So I was like, oh no. What do I do? For a moment, I had a brief thought, which is like, well, I can kind of just tell him, okay, I have Terminators and just go after him and stuff. But I thought, like, no, that's dishonest. What am I even thinking that for? I just had to tell him, like, I made a big mistake. So I told him, my opponent, hey, when you take the Terminators off the field, I'm taking them off they don't count because I did not have them on my lists because I wanted to do 10-man Stern Guard and Hellblasters to get that extra points and extra men because in some ways I don't feel Terminators are sometimes worth it. And I was just like, I need to take them away. And he's like, well, I'll still let you have those points for that, he said. But like, no, I need to take them away. Now, fortunately, I realized it because if I had gone with it and I didn't know that the Terminators were part of the list or whatever, that would have changed the game. And it would have very impacted it and everything. Especially if it was a tournament thing, it would have been bad. But it was a casual game, so fortunately. But I bring this up to show that, one, when I play, I don't want to play to cheat. I always want to be honest. I always want to be, I expect the best high quality and everything in utmost circumstances of myself and others. And if I make a mistake, I got to own up to it. It's one thing if I didn't know. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, I'll fix that or something. That's one thing if I didn't know. But because I saw it and I was thinking, I could do this, or I can be honest and be like, no, we got to change this. That's what honesty is best policy. As a Christian, I feel like, hey, you got to be honest. You got to be true. And hey, I could have totally gotten away with it in a way. I could have. But here's the thing. I can't get away from this. And it would reflect very badly on my character and very badly, I feel, towards my Lord. And I'd be dishonest and I'd be shaming myself. And just like, no, that's not worth it. No game is worth my character or integrity or anything else like that. Like in the army, you learn of about loyalty, duty, honor, respect, integrity, personal courage. So I admitted, hey, I messed up. Terminators go off. Fortunately, I only scored the deployed teleport homer, but I took those points away to adjust. So that's why it's 75-65 and not those couple extra points. So, but it's better to play honest. Play honest, people. Have fun. Have a great time, but always play honest. Now, the game, there's a couple times I could have won. I did. There was a couple times, but because he was able to destroy my vehicles at the last kind of turn, I was just like, well. And he was able to bring Angron back, so I was just kind of like, well, that sucks. And my pulls for secondary, I'll tell you what my pulls for secondary were. Let's see. First turn, capture enemy outposts and no prisoners. Well, I couldn't do capture enemy outposts or no prisoners. So on the next turn, I was able to capture enemy outposts and extend battle lines. Okay, good. The next one, investigate signals and deploy teleport homer. No. Round 4, I had bring it down, which was accomplished in a funny way. But that was from the turn prior, and I just kept it. I didn't discard it or anything. So I scored that technically off the thing. So I scored overwhelming force behind enemy lines. But I couldn't get defend stronghold because I had no strongholds because he wiped out that thing at the end. He scored much better on primary, on Purge the Foe, wiping out units than I could. And he was more consistent with his secondaries on that end. So I was just like, I just was not good. And I think we did mess up on the point thing. So even that point system, we might have messed up on because we didn't realize, oh, wait, we're supposed to be counting the Purge the Foe thing. We didn't realize that to turn 3. So it could be a little bit closer. It could be even worse. I don't know. But we tried calculating as best we could with everything. That's why the app is trying to help with stuff. But I noticed some people have tried counting with dice on the side and everything. I kind of did that today to kind of keep track of points just in case, just to be able to double track in case, But the bring it down. Again, he brought Angron back. My speeder was down to 2 wounds. And instead of going anything, the only option I had to take away an objective, because he was so low on Angron again, because I wounded him real bad again with my Desolation Squad. So I was like, there's only one way I can get in, and the only thing that get in is the speeder. The only way I could kill Angron, because he had 1 wound left, 1 wound, is if I maybe blow up. That would be the only way to kill Angron, and possibly take the objective if I lived. So I charged, and I blew up. Killed Angron. But then he's like, okay, do I blow up? And Angron blew up too, so it was like a chain reaction to everything blowing up. It was funny. And all that is. I didn't get the objective because there was no one on it, so no one could have the objective. My Desolation Squad was too far. But he had a group of whatever type things in the home objective. That's why I didn't have the home objective. I had my Desolation Marines on my final turn. It was like, they had to make a 12-inch charge to make it. And the guy was like, you know what? If you even make that 12-inch charge, I'd even let you have it. So I made a charge. It failed, so command reroll that 2 points of the Vox thing. I had a 6 both times, but both fail. And I was like, there's nothing else I can do. That's it. But good game. It was a fun game. That's become probably my my funnest game so far. So that was really good. But so it didn't work out the way I wanted, but oh well. So I've had 2 losses in a row. My record as of this video is 6 wins, 7 losses, total 8 losses, but 1 was a team match, so 1 team match lost, 6 wins individually, 7 losses individually, 6 wins individually, and 1 loss team-wise, so 6 and 8 out of 14 games. So that is what my thing is. I hope you enjoyed the video and me talking about everything, but I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.